Hey there, so this is my first really long video to tell you about the Pilates Reformer and what it can do for you, okay? So this is the Pilates Reformer. Now, not every reformer looks the same, okay? This is the Stott Pilates. The actual reformer is sort of like the bed, okay? This tower in the back, we call this the vertical frame. That has a lot of extra springs and bells and whistles on it that I love, and when I invested in my equipment, I was determined to have that in my own studio, but that's extra. So you could actually do up to 500 different exercises, if you can believe it, on this crazy machine, or apparatus, as we like to call it in the Pilates world. But really, you can just do a lot of things on the actual bed. Now, if you're wondering, like, first of all, do I need socks or not? Typically, these days, you do. Now, I've got socks here, and what they do is they have little grippies on the bottom, okay? Some socks are like the 5-toe socks, right, that I like. Some people don't. We'll talk more about that in another video as to, like, why it's so important to use your feet, spread the feet, okay? But for now, it's cold. I'm just going to put these socks on. Okay, so here we go. The actual board here is called a platform. I forget the exact name, but anyway, it's like a platform extender. So this comes up, all right? It's like a suitcase. It's fairly heavy. So I'm just going to put this to the side, all right? So this moving part of the reformer is called the carriage. All right, it's right here, and I'm going to wheel it down, okay? And at the end of the carriage, there are springs. Now, there are 5 different springs on almost every reformer, I think, just has the 5 springs. And each one of them has a different strength on the coils, okay? So when you load up the springs for leg work, for example, you're gonna basically be 3 full springs to strengthen your legs. When you stretch the legs, you will adjust it to medium level springs, typically 2 springs or 2 red springs in the Stott Pilates world. And then when you do a lot of like upper body balancing, you go down to fewer springs. So let's talk about just the spring tension. Why is that so good for you? Well, spring tension is very similar to flex bands, okay? So when the coils are spread apart, right, they're stronger, right? They're extended or expanded, and then they contract again. The entire time they're like contracting and expanding back, right? They're kind of expanding and contracting back, excuse me. They're on your muscles in varying degrees, all right? So when you lift weights, for example, and like I love to lift weights, I get it, I love it all, okay? But you're basically like contracting, release, contract, release. So the weight is on your muscle for sort of like half the time, right? It's like contract, release, and we call that strengthen, lengthen, right? Like when you're contracting the bicep muscle, you're actually lengthening the tricep, all right? With spring tension, instead of the contract, release, it's like a slow contraction, slow release, and the spring tension is on your muscle the whole time. So that's why it makes you long and lean, okay? Similar to flex bands. Before I started teaching fitness 15 years ago, I hated flex bands. I would go to a fitness class and be like, oh, can't stand those things. They always slip out of my hands and they whip back, and I don't know. It's like a slingshot, right? Anyway, they're actually really good for you because they tone and tighten, okay? Slimming you down without bulking up. So the reformer is very similar to flex bands. For example, that's, like Tom Brady, he does a lot of flex bands, right? I tell the story all the time that Tom Brady, the TB12 method, it's all about, being agile and flexible and ready to, like, when he gets hit by the, linebackers or whatever, he knocks down and then he can get back up again. Yes, it has also made him long and lean. Tom Brady's a very thin guy, all right? Tom, are you listening? I hope so. Anyways, bands and working with bands is very Pilates-esque. All right, I digress. Let's continue. So This is the carriage. This is going to move back and forth against the spring tension, okay? Now, I've got this loaded up on 3 springs because I want to do my leg strengthening. Typically, when you go to a lot of studios, you might do this first or not, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up this foot bar, like so. This is our foot bar. And I'm going to lie down on the carriage, and I'm going to put my feet in different positions on the foot bar, okay? And every time I move my feet in different positions, I'm going to be working different muscles in the legs. Okay, let me just say that again, because it's like, oh, I think it's like the greatest thing in the world. It's really so fantastic for your body. You're lying down doing your squats, okay, first of all. And then you're going to be moving your feet in different positions around the foot bar, working different muscles in the legs automatically. It's just like easy living. It is such a great workout. Anyway, so when I sit down in reformer, okay, my feet go against the foot bar. I've got my socks on. All right. Now I'm going to put my feet heels together, toes apart. So that means your knees want to track over your ankles. Okay. Now my head is going to go on the headrest here. And these little bump outs here, these are called shoulder rests. Okay. So when you first start doing reformer, it feels a little funny because your shoulders are kind of pushing into the shoulder rest. But don't worry, because if you didn't have this, your body would go flying. Okay? So, for example, heels together, toes apart. When you press the carriage away, again, the coils and the springs, right, are expanding, and then they're going to contract again. But they're on my muscles the whole time. Okay? I can move my feet together and wrap my toes around the top of the bar, pressing it away and bringing it in. I can move to arches of the feet, break up the tightness on the soles of the feet, the fascia, the connective tissue underneath your feet. So you could press it away and bring it in. We could go to heels on the bar, which is like a yoga chair pose, okay? So you press it away on the heels, flexing the feet and bringing it in. All right, we could do their typical squats would be heels hip distance, and you could press it away there and bring it in. All right, now typically we would get a lot of repetitions in each of these different foot positions. I would say, I don't know, maybe like 15 repetitions, okay? Because again, you're building muscle memory to help your body function better and more efficiently so that you're staying out of pain. You're getting long and lean, all right? You're staying out of pain. Now let's talk about the rhythm of the carriage, okay? A lot of times you might get in a class and someone might be kind of stressed out with their day and they might be next to you in the class, okay? And they're like this. Out, in, out, in, out, in. Okay, don't you worry about a thing because that is too fast, okay? I always tell people whether you've been a reformer like 3 times or like 3,000 times, okay? The rhythm of the carriage should be 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, press the carriage away with your feet against the foot bar, okay? 3, 2, 1. In addition to that, you want to breathe into these exercises. So don't worry about the breathing when you first start doing reformer. I always say to people, like, get the movement down, then add the breath. Okay, it's really important because so many people come, oh, wait a minute, am I supposed to exhale, inhale? Like they're gonna get stressed out that they're not doing it the right way, okay? No worries, it's not. Sometimes when you change the breathing, you change the exercise. So don't worry about it, nothing's incorrect, okay? But just so you know, when you press the carriage away, for example, in your essential or beginner breathing, you would exhale, press away through the mouth, and inhale, bend the knees and return. So it would be 1, 2, 3, exhale, 3, 2, 1, inhale. Exhale, send the carriage away, and bend the knees and return. Exhale, send it away, and inhale, bend and return. So when you're breathing, you're flattening your abs as you're strengthening your legs, okay? So I always say to people, like, put your hands right on your rib cage, your fingers, all right? The muscles in between the rib cage are knitting together. So that's how you get the flat abs, okay, the strength. Now, when you press it away, those muscles are going to contract or knit together. And when you bring it back with an inhale, they're going to open up. So it's like an accordion, okay? So it's exhale, breathe out, flattening the ribs. Inhale, it's going to release again. Now, the entire time you're doing this leg work, you're neutral spine, okay? So neutral spine is like basically just a natural curve of the spine in your lower back. So in other words, when you're doing the leg work going back and forth, you don't have to like pull your stomach in or worry about it. But again, if you breathe into it, you're going to flatten the abs that much faster, more quickly. And also that's where you're going to bring like the mind-body component into it. Okay. So honest to God, like a lot of times, a lot of my clients would come here after a busy day and, you know, I'd be like, giving them a nice warm greeting and asking them about their lives and whatnot, of course, right? Just to kind of connect with those people. And then I'd say, okay, this is your time. You've carved out this hour. Breathe. Okay. Now, I don't like it when people tell me to just relax and breathe. Don't think about it. But if you can just breathe when you're in these reformer classes, then that sort of is your meditation, right? Or is your kind of relaxing the mind while you're getting that workout. So just think of it that way, where you're just breathing out through the mouth, like you're blowing out the birthday candles. That's what you always say. And then inhaling. Okay. So, you know, does everybody breathe when they take a reformer class? No, but just saying, once you get the movements down, okay, you add the breath, you're going to get your relaxation in at the same time. So you leave there all stretched out, worked out, long and lean, and you're just like relaxed. Okay. All right, good. Now, when I am on reformer, a lot of Pilates is strengthening the back line. Okay. We also call that the posterior chain. It's the back of your body. All right. So your glutes and your back muscles in general these days, okay, are what we call expanded, or they're sort of like, because we're sort of a forward head society these days with like phones, computers, cooking, driving, okay, we're these muscles in our back are sort of like hunched forward. And so in Pilates, the best thing about like all these workouts that you'll do is that you're strengthening your back so you can hold your head up high, lift your chest up. Okay, it helps with your confidence. It helps with so many things. Okay, so posture isn't just like, oh, I have posture and I'm gonna stand up nice and pretty and nice and tall. It's actually very important to stay out of pain as we grow older. Okay, I can't say it enough. I mean, one of my aunts, true story, she had like horrible migraines for years. She did everything to get rid of it. I'm talking like when she was in her 75 to 90, like into her 80s, she could not get rid of these migraines. Okay, no, I'm not saying this is the main reason why she had the migraines, but many times if you are sort of like forward all the time, right, and your head is in front of your shoulders and you're sort of like a turtleneck, right? Call that turtleneck. You want to stand tall, keep your head up high, strengthening the back line. The posterior chain is critical for staying out of pain as we get older. Absolutely. Okay, enough. One of the things we always do in every single workout is the bridge. Bridge, 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 bridge. Even my cycling friends are like, Moira, I have sciatica, I have hip pain. What do I do? Da-da-da. I'll be like, we're pedaling. They're asking me this. I'm like, bridge. Do you know what bridge is? No, I don't know what bridge is. Okay. Everybody should know what the bridge is. All right. So bridge or reformer is really fun. It's actually called hip roll. And I'll just show you why. So I'm still on 3 red springs, although you can reduce the springs. We'll talk more about that later. It gets a little complicated, but anyways. Okay, I'm on reformer. My heels are hip distance. My arms are long. I'm going to start neutral spine, because you're always neutral when you do your leg work, okay? Again, remember we talked about, you don't have to squeeze your stomach in. You're just breathing out a natural curve. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll through the spine, all right? So without moving the carriage yet, I'm going to breathe out, draw the abdominals in, drawing the belly button to spine, and then I'm going to peel the tailbone all the way up to this bridge position. So a bridge is basically like your one long line, shoulders, hips to knees, okay? And again, because we're sitting down all the time, driving, sitting at the desk, whatever, these muscles get loose, okay? So you're going to really strengthen them all the time. So I'm going to start breathing in. Now I'm going to stay neutral, and I'm going to push the carriage away to a low hover. And then I'm going to bend the knees. I'm going to lift right back up. So I'm using my glutes, my buttocks, and my hamstrings like crazy. All right? Now I'm going to exhale, send the carriage low, and inhale, bend the knees, lift up. Exhale, press away. Inhale, lift. And then you're going to softly softening at the sternum, drawing the abdominals in, rolling down through the spine, and relaxing to neutral. So I always say, like, sometimes by the time you roll down through the spine in that position, it's almost like when you're putting like a wine glass on a granite countertop. Like, you got to go nice and gentle, right? Otherwise the glass breaks, right? I know. I've been there. Okay. So anyways, hip roll and reformer is really just the bridge. Now remember, the bridge is the destination, right? You're in a yoga class, they're going to say, okay, come on up to bridge. And they take that as like a back bend. Pilates asks you to articulate the spine in so many ways, and bridge is a classic example. So you're going to do your leg work. Okay, you cover the class, you're going to do your leg work. You're going to put your feet in all different positions in the foot bar, okay? And then you're going to always do a bridge. So heels on the bar, roll through the spine, lift up, breathe in, send it away neutral, come back up nice and tall, belly button to ceiling neutral, and then softly roll back down. Good. All right. Now, I actually help a lot of people with plantar fasciitis, okay? So this next exercise I'm just going to show you quickly with the leg work is called high half toe, and it is very unique to stretching out the calves, and it really helps prevent plantar fasciitis. All right? Okay, good. So your feet are down, pressing the toes, and I always say it's almost like you could see your pedicure if you looked up, okay? So you actually press your toes, elevate your heels, and you're going to send the carriage away and press the toes, keep your heels lifted. So my calves are like absolutely working like a dog right now. Doesn't look very challenging, but it is. Now we're going to send it away, and we're going to lower just your heels under the bar, lift, and then bend the knees and return. That's called lower and lift. So I'll just do it one more time. Press away, lower, lift, bend the knees and return. How about one more? Press, lower, lift, and return. So where's all that spring tension going? Well, it's stretching out my calves. Okay? Now there's something called running on the Pilates reformer, where we alternate the heels. And I always say, like, if this is how running is, you could probably run a marathon like every single day. All right? All right? Because you're alternating those heels, and it's so difficult to stretch the calves and work the calves. And that is a really critical way. So that's one of my favorite things. It's called running. It's a fan fave. Everybody likes running. Okay? All right. So I'm going to put the spring tension down to 1 red, 1 blue, or 1.5. And I'm going to show you a couple more fan faves. This one is called single leg stretch on the floor. So you're going to press it away. And supported lunge. Now, do you see how my back foot is against the shoulder rest? So again, the shoulder rests are there just to give you a little bit of leverage. Now, in this one, we're actually stretching hip flexors. So I don't know if any of you have been to like a chiropractor and they're like, oh my God, your hip flexors are so tight, tight, tight. Ah, you know why? Yeah, because you're sitting in the chair. because those hip flexors are contracted so tightly, and almost always they pull on the spine, okay? So this is a really nice way to stretch hip flexors. All right, so you're gonna inhale, push it away. Exhale, stand tall, my shoulders are over my hips. Now, every time I teach people to do a lunge in real life, okay, and they, instead of going down and up and using the back leg, they inevitably go forward and back. So that's a classic example, a great example actually, of why reformer is so good for you. It gives you a support to do exercises properly against the spring tension. Okay, so again, inhale, send it away. Exhale. I often go like this. Sometimes I throw a little yoga move in, lift up, and then you can go over, and you can circle back like this, grabbing the right leg behind you, looking up and down. It's just great. So that's medium level springage. We also can stretch the legs in something we call feet and straps. That's really hard to get on this video, so I'll show you another time, okay? But I do want to show you just a quick thing with the upper body. So now we're going to go to one spring. I'm going to take a spring off of the gear bar. Okay, this is called the gear bar with the springs, the foot bar. So you don't have to know any of that. But the instructor is going to say like, okay, one spring, frontward rowing. One red, one blue, single leg stretch on the floor. Elephant, like they'll call out the springs and then the exercise. Now, I always kind of over-explain things because a lot of times people don't know the name of that exercise, or maybe that instructor's been trained in a different format and they don't say it the right way. Anyway, so when you do upper body on reformer, okay, first of all, you can do things sideways. You can turn around, okay. Sorry about that. You can turn around this way. Put your legs long through the shoulder rest, all right? And just bring the arms back. This is called the plow, okay? And you're drawing the shoulders back together. This is called airplane, all right? And that really helps with posture. Now, one thing that I always love is something called front rowing. So you're frontwards on reformer. Typically, you can go crisscross applesauce. If this is too uncomfortable, you can go straight legs, okay? But crisscross applesauce is just a great way to be too. My bum is against the shoulder rest, right? But it's not like a lazy boy, okay? You don't want to like lean into it. But you're going to try to sit up straight, okay? On these seat bones, right? So really good for your back. Okay, and then we're gonna open the arms here, and this is called hug a tree. So you're gonna close. And again, you're gonna inhale, open to relax those tight muscles. Exhale, contract and strengthen. Breathe in, breathe out. So I typically would do 5 to 6, maybe 7 repetitions of each of these. Overhead shoulder press, right? We all know what that is, right? You're gonna press up. Now again, every single thing I do on the reformer, whether it's lying down or seated or on the knees, okay, you're building core strength. This is important because you're on a moving platform, all right? Your core stabilizer muscles are going like, what are you doing to me? Oh my God, like, I don't get this. They're strengthening, they're holding on, they're helping you not fall over. Okay, so that's where like balance comes in. The balancing is because you're on this crazy moving platform called the carriage, okay? And your core is constantly like anchoring you on the platform. All right, something called the offering. This is one of my favorites. You're gonna bring it up. Inhale, you open. See how my palms are up? All right, and you're gonna exhale, close, and inhale down. So it's like up, breathe out, inhale, exhale, inhale. You can also do this exercise on the knees. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. I usually polish this whole series off with circles where I come up, Inhale, pull down, lift up. Inhale, so it's a exhale, inhale, open. Now, you know when you're driving in a snowstorm and it's actually snowing here today, which is why I'm doing this video. Hope you guys don't mind. You know, whatever. I hope the lighting's good. That's what I meant by that. You know when you're driving in a snowstorm and you're clutching the steering wheel because you're like, oh my God, I gotta get home. My God, the roads aren't good, whatever. You get out of the car and your shoulders and your traps, right? The muscles around your shoulders are like, killing you. That's because of your grip. Your grip. You're gripping too tightly, okay? So I always joke around. We've got the steering wheel, right? We're cooking. We're at the computer. And then we get our phone. We're always gripping. It's life. It's life. Okay? So we're always gripping onto life. It's stressful. So one of the best things about reformer is that when you do upper body, instead of, again, taking that weight and contracting release, you actually, watch my hands in this one that we just did before. You're breathing out, and then see my fingertips are long, my wrists are long. So you inhale and exhale. Exhale. That's called the plow. And then we have airplane. So this is actually very challenging. Even if you've been on reformer a ton of times, it's challenging. So that's an incredible opportunity, right? You can get to strengthen your arms and your upper body without clutching and getting tight in the grip, all right? Everybody can lift a weight, no problem. But again, bringing those straps open and down, you can bring them up, and we did the offering before, right? But my fingertips are nice and wide, and it's the opposite to the grip that I was just talking about. Now, I'm going to end this video on a fan fave called Mermaid with rotation. So one of the best things we do in Pilates, okay, is strengthening the back line, working those muscles so that you get long and lean, right? Building flexibility, the balancing, and of course the core strengthening. However, one of the good things we do too, all right, is that, and in general when you exercise too, you want to see if you can twist or rotate from your rib cage muscle, from your thoracic spine, okay? So if you've been watching this video, and I hope you have gotten something out of it as to what this crazy reformer is all about, whether or not you even ever try it, just please remember, when you twist, okay, you're supposed to twist from your thoracic spine. So it's right, your rib cage, your brow line area, okay? So it's a and when you side bend, or we call this lateral flexion, okay? So flexion to the side. You also want to do that from your rib cage, all right? This next exercise is called Mermaid with rotation, and it kind of combines that side bending with the healthy rotation through the mid back. Trust me when I tell you, I was a huge runner, okay? And forever in a day, I would go like this, crack my back. And I would crack my lower back by twisting. No. Please do not do that, okay? Please don't do it. So, Mermaid with rotation. I'm going to bend my one front knee. I'm going to hook my left foot back. And I'm going to inhale my arm up. All right, so I'm in this kind of funky mermaid Z position. My legs are like the letter Z. As I press it away, I'm going to exhale. Okay, try to get my hands together. See how I'm getting a nice side bend stretch? And then you bring it back. Now, Mermaid with rotation, like I was saying before, is the healthy rotation. You're going to bring it up. Side bend. Draw the abdominals in. Rotate through the mid-back. All right, and you're going to open up your grip and stay and enjoy that stretch. Now, 3 times you're going to bend the elbows to the side. Retract, lift up, look up. Press it away, exhale. Bring it back in, inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale, hold it out. Shift the weight to that initial grip, initial hand. Bring the arm up and around. Side bend. So that's called Mermaid with rotation. I could show you a lot more today, but just so you know, in a nutshell, we talked about reformer today, correct? Totally. So the board is just the board to make it sort of like a yoga mat, if you will. You could do like mat exercises or whatnot on the reformer. When you lift up the platform, you end up with the carriage. The carriage has spring tension on it. When you load up heavy springs, you're strengthening legs. When you go down to medium springs, you're stretching legs, okay? And then when you go down to light springs, it's upper body, balancing, okay, and flexibility. But we haven't even gotten into the balancing yet. You can actually stand on the reformer. Okay, I'll just show you. So when you put the bar down, okay, woo. This is called the platform extender. I was getting that confused with the platform earlier. Sorry about that. Anyway, this platform extender goes right there. I would typically stand on the platform extender. My foot will go outside on the carriage, and then you're going to press it away and bring it back in. And you can sweep your arms open, exhale, and inhale. Standing tall, right? Exhale, send away, and inhale. This is called side splits. So that's a lot of balancing, right? Because I'm not falling over. So anyway, that's a very light spring, typically Mermaid with rotation and side splits. I always do like at the end of a workout. Again, just to get that nice stretching side to side, healthy rotation, right? And then also the balancing. Side splits helps with the outer hip muscles and the balancing. Okay, that's enough for today. So, reformer, spring tension, long and lean, and let me know if you have any more questions. You can reach out to me at moirasfitness.com or moirasfitness@gmail.com. Okay, that's my email address. Happy stretching and strengthening on reformer. Have a great, great day. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.